Success shouldn't feel this exhausting. If you're winning on paper, but burning out behind the scenes, you aren't failing. You're stuck in a psychological bottleneck called a hurdle of stop. I've been there. On the outside, things look great, but I was secretly burning out, convinced I was just lucky, and waiting to be exposed as a fraud. I realized I didn't have a business problem. I had a mindset block. Whether it's imposter syndrome, perfectionism, or fear or failure, these aren't just feelings. They are growth bottlenecks. Identify your specific hurdle and get one immediate action step to regain your momentum today. Go to tuepodcast.net/quiz. That's tuepodcast.net/quiz to take the 3-minute assessment and get your report now. This is an Undiscovered Legacy production.
Just keep going, keep pushing through.
Know your target market and the people you want to serve.
Just keep going. Just keep going.
You have to schedule it.
Focus on what you're doing. Always respond to criticism with professionalism.
Focus more on building yourself.
Don't ever give up.
Finish it yourself.
Welcome, school believers and new entrepreneurs, to Undiscovered Advice. We will be listening to 5 entrepreneurs with amazing advice just for you. Let's see what they have to say.
Yeah, I appreciate Jesse Blount asking me to put in a recommendation for a book on business. And the one I'm picking is Donald Miller's new book, How to Grow Your Small Business. It's a 6-step plan to help your business take off. And I love analogies. And his analogy is your business is like an airplane. Your leadership is like the cockpit. Your marketing is like the right engine, and your sales are the left engine that gives you the thrust. Your body of the plane is the overhead, and operations. Got to be careful how heavy it is. Your products are the wings. It's what's going to really give you that lift. And then the cash flow is it's the fuel tanks. And that's what gives you the ability to keep moving. And he goes through each one of those and gives you examples, and he gives you exercises to work through. So I've been working through that book, and he talks a lot about the common things that we have to think about. Who is your ideal client? What are their pain points? What are the products and services you have? How does your products and services solve those pain points? And here's the problem. Most of us just kind of really quickly think about that and then just start writing. And you have to really stop and think. I filled that out, and I was working with my coach, and he says, I don't think you've quite got it yet. So I'm working back through it again, and next week I'm going to sit back down with him, because I don't want to just superficially think I know who my client is and what their problems are and what they really want. I want to deep dive into that and really know it so that I can write the correct copy, the right messages, the right marketing, speak properly when I'm in the sales conversation. And I think that's so important. That's what he's trying to get at. Donald Miller in his book, Story Brand, talks about we respond to stories. And you think about it from a movie and a book. There's always a main character, he calls it a hero. They come up with a problem, a situation they're trying to overcome. A person or a hero comes in and helps guide them to, actually he makes the hero of the main character. So the guide is the one that comes in and helps the hero or the main character solve the problem. And then they finish it, they succeed, and they have a new situation, new results. And that's the kind of story that we need to talk about in our marketing, right? It's the pain points, the story of what our clients have been going through, how we are able to come across as a guide to help them. But we got to focus in on them, not on us. We can't be talking all the time about our products and services. We got to talk about them. That's what excites people. I do career transition coaching, and I'm constantly talking to people that when you tell your experiences in your resume and in your LinkedIn profile, you've got to tell a story. right? What was that problem that you faced? What was the emotions behind it? What was the situation where things were turning bleak, right? I remember a story where we had an inspection in the Air Force before I got there, and we got an unsatisfactory in a certain part. And that certain part was a responsibility of my office. But the wing commander gave it to somebody else, and they weren't taking any action. And when I talked to them, they said, I'm not going to take any action. Well, the problem was, if you don't get that fixed, you get another unsat. The wing commander, the group commander, the squadron commander, and myself had to go stand in front of the 4-star general and explain why we didn't get it fixed. Now there's a story, right? And how did we overcome that? And we made it happen. We ended up getting a satisfactory by building a team, coming through a plan, getting the support of leadership, and getting things written up and exercised. And that's what was success. So I could just say, trust me, I can help you do that. But the story sounds better. And that's what he's talking here in the book. So I recommend you get this book, How to Grow Your Small Business, a 6-step plan to help your business take off. This is Don Gleason, and I'm the president of Achieve New Heights, focused in on leadership, training, and coaching, certified with the John Maxwell team. So I hope you have a great day, and connect with me on LinkedIn. Don L, middle initial Gleason. Love to have a conversation. Tell me you heard this here. Thanks. Bye.
Hi Jesse, it's Jen. I just wanted to give my tips from my experience so far as a entrepreneur, from my perspective, from coming from frontline emergency services, is try to relax within your role. You don't have to mask and hide your own true personality within your business, because it's you. You are the brand. It's you behind the front of your business. And by being yourself and being more personable without the formal speech and the professionalism, of course it's important to have that. But people buy from people. People work with people. And that's when relationships are formed, by knowing that we are all human. We all have emotion. We all have a laugh together. And that's where you're going to build those true connections. So don't be afraid to be yourself. The corporate world, coming from a workplace to your own business, can be really difficult, because for so many years it's drilled into us to be professional. And yeah, it's important, but also it's important to be yourself and to feel like you can relax in your workplace, and that inevitably will lead to happiness. And when you're happy, you project a different energy and you bring a different vibe to the whole workplace, to the whole business. And that's really important for a successful business owner.
My name is Mads Rosal. I'm Danish. That's the reason for the weird name. I can't teach you about my name in 5 minutes, but I can teach you about the biggest mistake businesses make when they want to use social media. They forget the first word, social. You're supposed to be social. People are on social media to be social and interact with other human beings in a unique way. They don't want to be pitched. They don't want the product pushed down their throat. So when businesses go out on social media, focus on the personality, focus on being a person. This is quite easily done. You can easily have a company page where you're pursuing just being people and you're showcasing the people. Like, people love that kind of stuff on social media. They don't want to see your products all the time. Build the trust first. That's what you need to sell something. It's the exact same thing with social media. And the way you build trust is actually being social and treating them like humans, interacting with them like humans. And really just showcasing yourself. Like, building up a personal brand is such an important thing. Because there are always another person that does the exact same thing as you, but they're not the exact same person as you. And I just want you to let that sink in for a little bit. Because that's really the easiest way to differentiate yourself, is to have a personal brand. and just go out there and showcase yourself. And going into that, like one of the platforms I believe any business owner should be using is LinkedIn, and go out there and showcase their personality and what they're capable of in their specific area of expertise, simply just because you're able to form relationships with other business owners in your niche and get an understanding of how to actually become better and form a group of people that want you to become better. That's experts within the same niche you're going to be able to ping pong ideas of. Another great platform, I think, at least me personally, overlooked very much was TikTok. And that was right until I learned the feature where TikTok apparently has an in-store app. You can sell physical products like a book or like a course. And then you can make videos about this course, this book. And TikTok takes a commission, which makes TikTok can make a lot of money from your video. Besides that, when it comes to other platforms I think you should use, I think you should ask yourself, what kind of content do I like making? And what kind of platforms do I like using? And then pick the platforms you like to use, where your content, the type of content you see is the type of content you want to make. So it's very easy to get started on social media. It's not rocket science. You want to just make it as fun and easy as possible. That's one of the things we try to do for our clients, is to help them to make a fun and easy content strategy. Because if it's hard and difficult, you won't get it done. But fun and easy, you will. So don't overthink it. Like many other things in business, just do it. The best day to start on social media is right now, because there is no perfect time to do it. So with that being said, make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn if you want to learn more about how you can improve your social media. If you have any generic questions, I love that as well. That's how we become smarter, at least me. Thank you very much to Dr. Scoopy for letting me be on this show.
Hello. My name is Myrna Lane Hippolyte, and I am a financial wellness coach and an overall wealth strategist. And I help powerhouse individuals turn their amazing income into their first $1 million in net worth, even if they're new to investing in the stock market and are not financial pros. I firmly believe that if your money house is not in order, then the rest of your house is not going to be in order. I don't care what you tell me. So financial wellness is of critical importance, and I really specialize in helping women understand what it takes to invest in the stock market. So let's have it. What is my advice to a new entrepreneur? I would say pricing is of critical importance. How you price your offer is important. And as a newbie, we tend to underprice our services because we come in really low. And so if you're thinking about a product or service that you want to offer, I would say think about a price and potentially double it, because most likely you are going to be way under where you need to be. When you are looking at pricing, you need to consider a number of things. One, you want to consider the amount of effort, energy, and time it will take to deliver this. What are some of the costs involved? Not just, physical, tangible costs, but what are some of the energy type of costs that come into play? Does it take you a long time, 3-4 hours to deliver this to a particular client? You want to take that into consideration, because when you're pricing something low, you don't want to be working for pennies on the dollar when you know that you will have to put in a lot of time to work with this particular client or to prepare or have your product or service. So that's number one. Number two, you want to consider, how much it actually costs. And when I say cost, don't just look at, okay, it cost me, X amount to produce, this workbook for example, that might go as part of a course offering, but there are so many other things, right? How much did it cost you in order to, promote your offer? How much does it cost for the technology, for example, if you have a membership, the technology that houses your membership, right? How much does it cost for you to, go ahead and put together and pay, a tech person to establish your funnel? So you have to take into consideration all of the costs that are involved so that you can generate a price that will, cover the cost, and on top of that, give you an actual profit. So you need to consider that. And lastly, look at the actual transformations that come for your particular clients. That's very important, because if you have a product or service that's going to generate, for example, $10,000 more for a particular client, then there's no way you should be charging $100 for that, because the result is going to more than 10x their money. So you have to take into consideration, what is the value that you bring to the table and what the transformations are that you will be able to provide to the client. How is that client going to be much better off? And can you quantify that? To the extent that you can quantify that, you can factor that in as part of your overall pricing, because you know that you will be able to deliver results. So pricing and having the right pricing formula, inevitably, that is what is going to move the needle for you in your business. You don't want to start off and price too low. And in parting words, what I would say is have that overall belief in yourself. Know that you were called to actually deliver your passion and purpose, and have faith that you can actually do it. Have faith that you can deliver, have faith in yourself, and all will be well and all will go well, and you will sell.
Hi, I'm Polly Hersey, and I am a nature-inspired and energy-led business design mentor. No one told you that you were going to be on the fast track to discovering everything you can't do and second-guessing everything you can, which was rude. Entrepreneurship is the quickest route to self-doubt. It's something no one prepares you for or helps you overcome. And that's what I want to share in this little snippet of advice to get you through the maelstrom and reaffirming your decision to walk this path. Self-doubt is part of the journey. It's almost a rite of passage. No matter how skilled and experienced you are, being the leader of your business is going to trigger some wobbles. As soon as those wobbles hit, you will begin to look for advice, information, guidance, all to reassure you that you know what you're doing. In my experience, this will lead you astray. You were built for this. You have what you need. Yes, there will be gaps in your knowledge, but your overall vision is yours. Listen to yourself before you listen to others. Get really clear on what you want to create with your business before you give your energy and time to external advice. That way, you will not lose yourself exactly when you need to be yourself more than ever. We are naturally risk-averse, us humans. We don't go into anything without a reasonable certainty that we can succeed. That's about self-trust. If you trust yourself, you will invest the energy you need to succeed. If you don't trust yourself, you will hold back and your chances of success will diminish or kind of be ransom to luck. It's worth spending time reflecting on your skills and acknowledging your zone of genius. And this should include what others reflect back to you as your skill set, energy, and approach inside work and out. They see in you what you may not see in yourself. Blind spots are a real thing, and you will need people to help you see what they see. And that's going to help you be more rounded in your thinking and conscious in your decision making, all of which will help you build strong foundations for success. And finally, listen to your gut. Humans are intuitive by nature, logical by conditioning. Intuition and logic are actually natural companions, but they need equal credence. Your intuition knows what you can't articulate, so it's going to help steer you through some tricky situations. And it's anchored deeply in your personal values, which is going to help you build a strong culture around your vision. Every customer or client wants to feel good about their choices, and culture is a big part of their decision-making, whether it's conscious choice or not. The more you use your intuitive wisdom in business, the more you will be able to build a strong culture that is also logically integrated across the entire spectrum of your business. And that's always good for business. And when you have those inevitable moments of feeling lost, intuition will steer you in the right direction. So my advice is to listen to yourself, trust yourself, and lean into that wise inner voice that always knows the way forward.
I would like to thank all entrepreneurs that took the time out to help new entrepreneurs get across that start line with their amazing advice. If you would like to contact any of these amazing people, check out their information in the show notes. Are you an entrepreneur with amazing advice and want to be featured on Undiscovered Advice? Go to tuepodcast.net/advice and leave your advice in an easy recording. Undiscovered Advice is a product of Undiscovered Legacy LLC and a proud member of Blind Knowledge and Pod Nation podcast networks. For more information, go to uepodcast.net. Thank you, Scuba Believers. Hello, Scuba Believers. Let me ask you a real quick question. How many cups of coffee have you had today? 3, 5, 7? And let me guess, you've got a Red Bull in the other hand just in case, right? Yeah, I see you. Now, here's the truth bomb nobody wants to hear. You're not building a business. You're building a caffeine dependency. Listen, I get it. When you're grinding 12, 14, 16-hour days, you're building something from nothing. When you've got payroll to meet, investors to impress, and visions that won't wait. You need fuel. But what if I told you that the fuel that you're using is actually slowing you down? What if the very thing that you think is keeping you sharp is actually making you dull? Enter Rise Coffee. This isn't your grandma's mushroom tea. This isn't some hippie wellness trend. This is science meets performance. And here's what makes Rise different. Less than half the caffeine of a regular cup of coffee. But here's the kicker. You won't miss it. 6 organic powerhouse mushrooms, including cordyceps, what Olympic athletes use, and lion's mane, what Silicon Valley biohackers swear by. Sustained energy that doesn't spike and crash. We're talking smooth, clean power from morning to moonlight. Crystal clear focus without the jitters. Imagine closing the deal with calm, confident mind instead of the caffeine chaos. Gut health and immune support, because what's the point of building an empire if you're too sick to enjoy it? So here's the challenge to you. Stop borrowing energy from tomorrow. Stop running on fumes and call it a hustle. Stop wearing your caffeine addiction like a badge of honor. Real entrepreneurs optimize. Real entrepreneurs adapt. Real entrepreneurs win. You can't win if you're crashing at 2 p.m. while your competition is just getting started. Break the cycle. Head to risesuperfoods.com right now and use code PODNA15 for 50% off your first order. That's PODNA15 for 15% off. Try it for 30 days. If you don't feel the difference, if you don't feel sharper, calmer, more focused, more alive, then go back to your 6-a-day cup habit. But I'm telling you, you won't, because once you feel what real energy feels like, you'll never go back. Ditch the addiction, fuel your empire, and rise up. Rise Coffee, energy that builds, not burns.